Hey everybody, so I decided to do this video because there are absolutely no videos on how to assemble this thing online. So far we've taken everything out of the box, bags that it comes with, slid this guy out, all of the pieces were in bags sitting here on the inside of the vehicle. Got the instructions here. It's going to take 18 hours for the first charge, so I went ahead and connected that already. You're going to take the cord here. It says A, B, and B and C, but nothing is labeled. So basically the one that comes out of the top of the battery, this baby blue looking one, is the one that you're going to connect to your charger. So you can go ahead and get that done first thing right away while you're assembling, since it is going to take so long to charge. This one here is attached to the vehicle, and once you do have your charge, you're going to take this baby blue one and connect it to this one. That's going to give you your power. When you turn the page, the next thing it's going to say is to go ahead and start applying the decals before installing the pieces. So we're going to do that now. There are going to be a few things here that you're going to have to figure out for yourself. For example, this says number 17 here. These are stickers for the shocks. See here it says number 17. This also says number 17. This one's labeled, say, 21. Has number 20 here, 21 in the back, 17, and there's nothing here. And there's supposed to be 14, 17, 20, and 21. But again, it's just the stickers, so it shouldn't be too complicated. I went ahead, took stripe number 1, put it in there. If I figure anything out that's a little bit odd or worth noting, I'll go ahead and do that. So example, the shocks, I flipped this around pretty much every which way, and nowhere on here does it say 17 or 21. You'll see this one stamped 9324. I've checked the tabs front and back, pretty much inspected the entire thing. This one has the same stamp, 9324. But you will notice that there's a little bit of an angle here, so it's skinnier on the left, it gets thicker on the right, opposite for this shock. So just pay attention to that when you're going ahead and doing this. Just make sure you're peeling off the, correct size and shape for what you're trying to match it up to. Okay, making a little progress here. I just wanted to note that these two came actually connected like this. Sorry, reverse that. They came connected this way. You can see where I tore them apart, and the stickers for them are actually reversed, so make sure you tear them apart, swap them, and then start putting on the stickers. Okay, so for number 1, it does say over here to put the decals on first. I'm not sure about the other pieces quite yet, but I will say it notes that the sides that are labeled DX are for the right, and that was on here at the very top. If I can get this to focus, there we go, DX. I don't know if you can see it there. So I separated the DX, that's going to be for the right side of the vehicle. It says SX for the pieces indicated for the left. Okay, so the one with the smaller profile here is going to be for the rear wheel well. This one with the, deeper, the wider one is going to be for the front. So this little lonely guy here, there's a little tiny hole up here, and there, now you can see it. Right there is where you're going to be putting this into, and then right here, very far behind the wheel, you'll feel the little hole. Make sure that the DX and the SX are at the top. That's going to let you know how to put these in. Best way I found on the other side was to install the bottom part first, and then let the top go in. Check them, make sure that they're not loose. You're going to listen for a snap when you install them. It's extremely awkward to get these in here, especially since the rear wheels don't rotate. I got the bottom part in. I'll go ahead and lock the top in now, and that's it. It's in there now, so that's how it looks installed. We're gonna move to the front. This one you can clearly see the hole on the top. You can see right through it. I went ahead and turned the wheels for this one, and there's actually a put my hand around it because you can't see. There's like a little cup here. It's a little U-shaped, and there's actually a little divot, a little hole piece here, and that's where this little tooth is going to sit in. Okay, so I reverse the wheel. Go ahead and stick the top piece in, and we're gonna get this bottom piece to slide into place as well. There we go. Okay, so top piece in first, bottom piece in. You're gonna have to adjust it a little bit to get it to sit, line up in that hole, and get it to snap. Okay, next are these side trim sections, and doesn't seem to indicate on the decal sheet that they come with any, so we're just going to go ahead and pop them into place. So we're just going to line this up and pop that down. I guess so we're going to end up screwing them into place. We'll just do the same thing on the other side. That's it, just set them. Okay, scratch that. I was looking at the wrong photo. I was looking at photo number 3. So we're supposed to be doing number 2. Well, these are going to go in first. So I'm going to go ahead and take out the other pieces and pop these in. Okay, piece number 1. Go ahead and install this back on top. Okay, let's see, the screw's gonna hold them all together. Also, make sure when you're putting these in, there's this front piece here that needs to lock in, little tooth, and this side piece here. So you stick the front one in. Make sure that the back one is not sitting on the outside. Make sure that you are getting it in to both slots. Okay, back to the roll bar supports. Okay, so step number 4 is putting the screws in here. I was kind of freaking out because I thought mine didn't come with some. I left the bag lying around. Anyway, so all of these small bits were in here, these here, and those there. So I had this little guy in the bag, and it looks as simple as it gets. It's going to have different screw sizes, lengths, and you're just going to have to look at them and sort them out. And, you know, again, it's pretty self-explanatory. It tells you exactly which ones need to go where. So I'm going to find the ones that we need to set these in place. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got these all sorted out. So guys, like I said, the actual screws themselves, they're not going to be labeled MMBA 0205. So you're just going to have to take your time, pay attention, you know, to the head of the screw. Is it wide? You know, does it have that little lip, right? Or is it more simple? Does it have a pointed tip, or is it flat? I'm just going to go ahead and give you a little cheat sheet here. So for the first one, you're looking for the longer silver screws on the back. You have the same ones, so you have a total of 4. Okay. Next is going to be the chubbier of the screws. There's only 2 of them. They're huge, the heads, compared to the first set that I showed you, and they have the pointed tip. Okay, next, there's actually 5 of these, the 0202 ends. So these ones are black. They have a blunt tip, And you're also going to be using them on the back of the page here, 2 more. Okay, so then at the top of the next page, we have 4. They're also black. They're the ones with the fancy tops. Next we have 2 of these. So they're pretty small silver ones, but they're not the smallest silver ones. The smallest silver ones are actually going to be these here. So a little bit of a size difference. Also, these ones have a blunt end. Okay, where are we? 2 of those. 2 of these, I couldn't find these, only if present. So obviously this pink one doesn't come with this safety strap, so we're not going to worry about that. Then at the bottom, this one, it's not threaded all the way through. It's the easiest one to find. There's only one, and that's the one that comes with the nut. Okay, so to finish off the back, we did the small silver screws. I actually did those too. And then these last 2, I believe, are the same as the first ones in the front. Yeah, they sure are. So there'll be a total of those 4 also. Hope that helped. Looks like all of these require a Phillips head. I just have a little flat head with me. So, you know, just gonna make do with what I've got. And I'll let you know if it does the trick or if I need to switch to go and find a Phillips head. All right, those are in. All right, I went ahead and moved those to the side and used all these little pieces from the other box to kind of hold them into place so they don't go rolling around as I'm working here. Okay, number 5 says to place the top of the roll bar on. It says to maintain the holes represented by the letter A and the letter B. Letter A towards the front, letter B towards the back. The only thing that helped me out here, because again this thing is not labeled, are these little teeny tiny holes, indentations, and then the slight curve in this thing to figure out which direction it's going to need to go. Also in this photo, you can again see the little holes on the front. The front and back of this thing at the top pretty much look identical on both sides. The only thing that changes is the center. And, you know, again, just by looking at it, you can't tell it's not labeled. So this is the back of the roll bar. This should be facing the front. So you can see the holes right there. We're going to go ahead and pop it into place. Okay, so I went ahead and popped the roll bar on. Just make sure it, you know, makes it all the way to the bottom. We're going to go ahead and put the screws in now. So we've got these set out already. The 2 screws that I'm going to need are right here. I'm going to take them and go ahead and install them into the sides. These are those big ones, and there's no hole for them, so I'm going to take a little bit of extra pressure to get in there. There actually is a hole here, only it doesn't line up. You guys can't see, but it doesn't actually line up. All I can see are these stripes here. So I'm just gonna, you know, go ahead and have to make it through it. Also, I want to note that this hole here is only on this side. You'll notice on the opposite side there is not one, so keep that in mind when you're popping these on, because they look pretty interchangeable. I'm sorry if you know, you already went ahead and screwed them in, because this down here, I mean, there is a hole for those on both sides. You can see the other side of the screw there. You know, but that was pretty simple to put in. It's an easy swap. I just opted for putting the more rugged side on the outside, but yeah, that's something that you need to pay attention to. Okay, so I just happen to have this tool lying around. I went ahead and just pierced right into the plastic, kind of make a little pilot hole in here. You can always use, I guess, your drill or something to knife, you know, just have a little bit of patience. I got lucky, but you're going to need something to help get this screw started. If, of course, yours doesn't line up. All right, kids, it's in. If you were having trouble getting the roll bar in, these, you know, kind of had a little bit of give left and right. Just play with that a little bit. They'll pop right into place. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side now. Another quick thing is, if this is anyone's first time kind of doing something like this on your own, go ahead and use your hand and thread this in a little bit. Any of them, as a matter of fact. as far as you can by hand, just so it's not falling out, slipping, you know, going crooked, getting out of place when you're trying to actually work it with the tools. Okay, well, it's time to attach the plastic rings to the roll bar, so I'm gonna have to say goodbye to my little, you know, screw holders there. Moving on to step number 7. Okay, so just note, I thought I actually had 5 of these. There's only 3 lights, so there's a difference here. These ones kind of have this longer connection going on, as opposed to these ones kind of just have a little circle at the tip. So you're going to need the 3 that do have this shape on them. I'm going to assume from the photo here that this is the front of the vehicle. If not, they just open and close like this, so it'll be easy to remove them and turn them around. Let's go ahead and put these on. Okay, so there's 3 little notches on here. You'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and just open these up. And I guess let it sit there. Looks like it fits pretty well. Okay, so I heard some snapping going on. This little piece here in the back is locking into that hole. Same thing, this one on the front. Stop everything, don't do that. If you did, just reverse them. I already flipped mine over. So the lights are going to be screwed on to the part that connects together. So the part that connects together actually needs to face the rear of the vehicle. Then you're going to bring this up onto them. There's a hole here, and that's where we're going to add our screws. We're going to be using the 3 black ones on the front page, bottom left, that we separated. So 2 things with the lights, they're not going to light up. Second thing is it's got a little bit of give, a little bit of wobble. And I mean, I'm doing this by hand, and still I started to, there, now we're in focus, I started to strip the screw. So I'll try to tighten those up later with the Phillips head, but I'm pretty sure that's all it goes. And yeah, there's a little bit of wobble. Now that we have the lights on, we're going to apply the silver decals to the light areas, then push the rear lights into their slots. So you're going to need the foil stickers, and you're going to need the reddish orange lights as opposed to these clear ones. So this shape is indicated for the left side. You can see where it says Polaris here. So we're going to go ahead and take these shapes. I already lined it up. It'll have 1 hole at the top, 2 holes at the bottom, 1 at the top, 2 at the bottom. So these are the left ones. We're going to go ahead and put that on the left side of the car now. I just wiped this area down. There was a little bit of like dust and debris on it, so made sure that that's nice and clean. I've lined up my decal. It's not going to be exact. The sticker's going to cover up a bigger area than your holes actually allow for. Go ahead and pop that into place. You're going to have it in this position. The bottom right has the most pronounced tab, so we're going to go ahead and stick that one into place first, and then pop the other 2 in. I was just curious what this would look like without the silver decal underneath. We're going to go ahead and take that one for the right side and install those as well. I just want to note, all the stickers are really forgiving. I had to move this decal around for the left side, but when you're taking the metallic ones off, they do tend to come off with the entire backing, so just be careful when peeling. Okay, next we're going to move on to the seats. So it says that it can be fitted in 2 positions. I'm going to try to figure out what that means. And we're going to secure it with the screws provided. Looks like there's 2 for each one, so we're going to be looking for 4. Yep, they are the longer of the black ones, and we already have those separated, so we're going to go ahead and grab the seats and see what's up. Okay, so these are the two seat positions. One of them you can get to sit a little bit closer. If you'll take a look, there's these ridges here, so you can set it down on the first position. There'll be a little bit of room behind. You can lift it up, lock it into the second position. It's all the way back. So now they're both in the back position. These are going to be for a child on the older age range for this vehicle, so I'm going to lock them both into the further back position. So for all four of these, looks like when they did the pilot holes, they did it from the bottom up. So the plastic's sticking out a little bit. You know, don't be afraid. As I was saying, don't be afraid to just give it a little bit of pressure. Go ahead and stick that in there and just push down until you can get the screw, you know, to go in there. Didn't have as much trouble with the other three, but you know, I did want to show you. Just keep at it. You'll get it in there. So I kept going by hand until you know, there was no more give. Once it reaches the bottom set of plastic, now it's in there nice and firm, and I'm going to go ahead and finish up all four of them with the screwdriver. So I got completely stuck trying to get these in. I did have to go and dig out a Phillips head screwdriver to be able to get them in correctly. I also like to alternate the left one and the right one, especially when you're first getting them in by hand, just to make sure you know, that everything's lined up correctly and you're not working harder than you have to. Just why I went and got this Phillips head. This right seat is giving me a pretty hard time, but I think got everything. Now I'm just going to go ahead and double check all of them. Yeah. There we go. Next step, install the two ring clamps on the roll bar, one on each side. So open them to the correct position. This here is our photo of the correct position. If you can see, there is a little cut into one of these sides, kind of makes like a little U shape. I'm going to show you that now. So this is going to be the correct position. Upside down, reversed. This is how we're going to install them, and I'm assuming it's going to be both of them for the left and the right. One thing you're going to want is really good lighting, especially when you're trying to line all of this stuff up. So I'm going to line that up where it sits right on top of the hole. I can see it. I know you guys probably can't, but yeah, and it's, you know, doesn't really have too much give to go. And then once you put those screws in, you know, you'll know if you're off a little bit, even if you can't see too well. So these have been going in order. We just did the seat. Now we're going to do these clamps. I've got my screws already. We're going to go ahead and put them into place. These ones, I'm going to tell you, I couldn't get them too far in by hand. Actually, now I'm trying to do this with my left hand. I'm going to have to hold the vehicle still to be able to do this. But yeah, go ahead and get these in and come on back. And there we go. You guys are strong. You can do this. No problem. Looking pretty good. Next is number 13. We're going to apply the speedometer decal and push to install the transparent cover. So we're going to put the speedometer on the dashboard. Oh, okay. I guess there's a special name for those long tabs I keep talking about. It's the tongue. So anyways, let's start with the decal. Yeah, look at that. This one's right. 25. There's speedometer. 25. 25. We're going to put that right in here. Here's the cap. There's the tongue. Now, I'm not sure why you'll notice on the left side of the decal there is a little cutout for the tongue. On the right side, not so much. And they pretty much have the same like opening here. So I'm not really sure why one side had it and one side didn't. This one is pretty tight. So you want to set it all the way at the bottom. Not so bad once it's popped into place. I did notice that when I was installing it, the sticker did kind of start to lift up and like bend a little bit. I also wish I had cleaned the inside of this, but it looks like it's just scratches on the actual plastic to the outside, not so much that it's sturdy. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to clean that up regardless. Well, clean it up. I feel like it looks just about the same. What do you think? Here's where it's gonna go. This thing was quite bendy. I had to kind of like left, right it, left, right it, left, right it, and give it a little bit of a wiggle, and finally heard a really deep pop. But now, if you can see, the decal is a little squiggly here on the right, and on the left. Can't see it too much on the left here, but it is. But I mean, oh well, it is what it is. Okay, number 14, we're going to install the dashboard cover. We're going to put the upper teeth and then the lower. All right, here we go. See these upper teeth? 1, 2. Again, guys, sorry, I'm trying to just do this with my left hand to show you the lower ones. I'm gonna go one at the left, give it a little bend. There we go. In place. Finally get to turn the page. All right. Number 15, looks like we're moving on to the steering wheel. So we're gonna find both parts and we're gonna join the two sections. Okay, so this is the back. You'll notice that there are these, cannot see these on my camera, I'm so sorry guys. Okay, so see these dots here? We're going to, and they're all the way around. There's little holes in them. There you go, you can see it. So we're gonna take this pink piece, it's actually the back, and these pins, you're just gonna line them up, set them right into the holes on the black piece, the steering wheel, pop them together. So sorry you guys. Okay, well, part 3. So I just kind of worked my way around and, you know, made sure everything was lined up and tried to secure it. There was never any real like popping into place. I mean, it's kind of just sitting on top of there. The seal is not exactly consistent all the way around. I mean, I guess so, but let's move on. Okay, next we're going to insert the cap on the steering wheel and then remove the plastic protector from the steering shaft, put the steering wheel in to the steering column and lining up the holes. So these are the holes that we're going to be looking for once we go to set it in. This photo doesn't really help, you know where it's going. Let's find this cap. Okay, it's here where all my screws are like sharing a home now. So much for having those separated out. Anyways, this is what it looks like. And I'm not really sure if there's a top or a bottom. Oh yeah, there must be. Okay, so we're gonna want the pieces that are flaring up to be on top. And that is where this bad boy is going to go. And this is gonna face down. Little angle here. Okay, so obviously there's some kind of like metal piece that's going to be sticking out of the vehicle because this one just stops right at the plastic part here. So let's take a look. All right, so here we are. Our steering column. Okay, took that plastic piece. I don't know if you guys could see. I don't even know if that was on the camera. Anyways, this was covering it off. Here's the holes. So we're just going to go ahead and take the steering wheel, the words facing up, and we're gonna slide this on until our holes are lined up. Okay, let's go find the screws. Steering wheel, it's going to be our one not really threaded screw, and that means we're also going to need this nut. So we're going to put it in from the bottom to the top. We're going to screw it in and make sure we add our nut at the end to hold it into place from slipping out. Well, the holes are on the side, not on the top and the bottom. So you're going to notice on one side it's just round, and on the other, well, on the other there's a pronounced hexagon shape in that hole. Of course, you cannot see it on my camera. I apologize, but it is there and it matches your nut. So we'll go in, put the screw in through the reverse side, come meet us on this side, and screw the nut into place. Okay, I gotta say this for me was probably the most difficult part, to get everything lined up to get the screw in. You're not actually doing any screwing or threading, you're just literally pushing it through. You'll start to hear when it hits the metal, that beam inside is metal. I just had to wiggle this around a lot, the steering wheel, you know, to be able to get it all the way through. You're gonna see this kind of lip on the right side, just flat on the back. You're gonna go ahead and put the lips towards, again, this is my left hand, so I'm gonna have to let go of the camera to be able to do this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put this down. So that's actually not it. You're going to leave that rounded lip out facing you. You're gonna put the flat side towards it. And you're going to go ahead and screw that on. You're going to need probably 2 hands to hold the back into place so that you can get this screwed on correctly. Okay, moving on. So number 19 says install the 2 parts of the windshield as shown. Picture A shows the grille fitted correctly. This is picture A. We're going to need both of these pieces to make this happen before we pop it into place. Okay, so what they mean by correctly is that on the front side, you will see these divots in the corner, in the center, and on the reverse side. On the grill, you will see that on one side, those corners, the center, are towards the front of the plastic, and then the center left and center right are on the back of the plastic. The front has a centerpiece, and the left and right corners towards the front, and then the 2 extras are on the back side. On the back side of here, that is the only place where left and right center have the indentations. Also, there's 2 extra ones on the sides. You can see them right here. Towards the back, again, not towards the front. Oh, look, there's an extra one on the front here. So, yep, and then there's our indentation. So just make sure you have it in the correct spot. You're going to push the back pieces towards the back and then lock the front ones on top. So this is requiring a little bit of bending. I had to bend the left and right towards the middle to get the side pieces in. Didn't leave me much room for the top, but again, I'm just bending it so I can force those pieces to the back to be able to pop it into place. It is in. It worked easier moving actually from the top down to the individual sides. It just popped right out of place while I was in the middle of talking to you guys. Okay, so the next one, number... You guys can't see that. Anyways, we're just going to go ahead and fit it into place with 3 screws. Here's a photo. Looks like it should just sit back in there. And number 22 is, oh, it just says screws, not 3 screws. So let's take a look actually at those. We did the steering wheel already. Now these are all screwed up. Okay. Steering wheel. Oh, okay. That's where the 3 screws came in. So first we're going to take these 3 little silver ones and we're going to put them in the back, locking these 2 pieces into place. Left, right, and center. Ladies and gentlemen and children, our 3 screws are in place. Now we can go ahead and pop this on. Okay, with those 3 screws facing towards the back, you're just going to go ahead and set that down. Look at how smooth. I'm going to have to disconnect this thing. Give me a second. Okay, so now it's time to put some screws in here to hold this windshield into place. So that means we're moving on to number 22, we're gonna go ahead and grab those screws, which are these two little shorty ones that we have left with the blunt tips. Two more to go. All that pink stuff was coming out. This is as far as I felt comfortable going. It's in there nice and tight. Oops, well, I already installed these, so we're gonna go ahead and skip that, but we did apply the decals first. Next is going to be number 24. Gotta know what those are. Okay, so it's the front grille. It looked like some little corner thing, which I obviously don't have left here. All I have is the grille. I believe those are the caps for the tires and these light covers. So the grille has 6 points. We're going to install that. And then I guess there should be a left and a right screw. Yes. Okay guys, so check it out. You're gonna wanna be really careful doing this next step. I immediately noticed on the back of the grill these little teeth. So once this pops into place, it's not going to come back out. So you need to make sure that these other pieces that you're trying to line up are in the spot. Let's go back. Are in the spots that they need to be. They need to be lined up and ready to go on both sides before you lock those top pieces into place. And then these are going to be numbers 5 and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 and 6. Okay, so now that I have this in, I'm going to tell you, I was so concerned with the bottom ones coming out of place. They don't even reach in all the way right now. I have a whole finger between where the length of the piece on the grill started and where the hole is on the actual vehicle. These two I popped into place real nice. This wasn't lining up and meeting when I was worried about the two bottom pieces. The sides popped in as an afterthought. As you can see, that's lined up really nicely too. I'm pretty sure that's where the screws go down there anyways. So that'll go ahead and pull it all together and into place. Yep, so see, it's not the very bottom part. It is that hole that I was talking about. Again, this I just showed you in the photo. It's a little bit up here, and that's the part that was trying to line up anyways. These are our last two screws. We still have a ton of decals, but this is going to finish off almost our assembly. We still have a few pieces left over here. This came off of the thing that was covering up the steering wheel metal, but this is it, plus the decals. So there was no threading here on the other side. It just slips right in and disappears. Okay, this guy gave me a lot of trouble. I could not see. I had to lift up the whole thing. And for a long time, I felt I was just spinning and spinning and spinning without anything happening. Finally made contact. It's in there nice and tight. Gonna move on to the other side. Be patient. And you too will get it done. Oh, this side was way easier. A few tight turns and it's all in place. It is solid. Okay, let's keep going. Number 26, we're going to move on to the silver decals for the two front light areas, and then we're going to push the lights into the slots. So we're going to go ahead and look for these. We're going to be mindful of left and right. Just look at the space, the direction, as well as, you know, where the holes line up. Okay, so these are left and right. The wider side is going to go towards the center of the car. So this is the left one, and this is the right one. There's just a hole on the left and right. I'm going to go ahead and try to clean these up best I can before I do the installation. And then also, of course, on the vehicle, cleaning up any dust and debris underneath on the vehicle where we're going to be applying the sticker. These are the spots here and here. Not sure what's up with these extra holes, but I'm not going to worry about it. These ones were a pretty tight fit. I had to readjust. I went ahead and lined them up at the bottom best I could and worked my way towards the top. Again, we're going to take the tongue, put that in first, and then lock down the tooth. Tongue in, bend, and tooth. Okay, it's popped into place. Tongue in. Again, sorry about this whole left-handed thing, and tooth. Okay, next we're going to install the hubcaps. Install the 4 small hubcaps. Here they are. This is the only actual hardware we have left. So, looks like we've got 4 teeth. I guess just line them up in whichever direction you'd like them to face. Maybe make sure that they're all consistent. Okay, so I lined up the tires. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the starburst facing up. I accidentally cut the video again, you guys. I'm so sorry. It's my first time doing this. Alright, just give them a little bend and pop them in. Okay, so moving on. We have got 31. Okay, so this is just optional. It's just letting you know that you can start in the front position for the seats, and then later the front 2 screw holes, and then later move the seat back and lock it into the rear position as the child grows. Okay, so to access high speed, we're gonna go ahead and turn this lever that stops it from going forward into the second gear, and we're gonna turn it sideways so that it's not obstructing your shift lever, so that they can go into second gear. Like I said, this is going to be for an older kid. Also, just so you know, to go into reverse, they have to hold it back in the reverse position for safety. They can't lock it into reverse. So you guys should have this too, but just in case you don't, maybe you want to pause here and read through. So here's the screw. I'm going to go ahead and lift this up, rotate it, and lock it in here so that they can access the second gear. Okay, so I've got that in the new position, ready to go, full power. That's pretty much it. You've got an option because there's a tow hitch option. This is a complete, I guess, guide and parts. Some of this already came assembled. We only added the finishing touches, pretty much everything that's sticking out. It also has a troubleshooting guide. This is going to be really helpful. Something that I did notice in the the video that I watched on this particular vehicle was that your warranty will be voided if you don't meet the minimum 18 hours of charging because it can make the vehicle defective. So make sure you set a timer or something and really let it have that time to charge. I was able to get it charging while I was actually assembling everything. It came with this hood piece here, and it was just sitting on here. All I had to do was turn this little triangle to the upright position. It was at the side. I just turned it and it lifted right up. And I think I told you guys in the beginning of the video that there were 2 pieces. There's one here. This is actually connected to the vehicle. This one here that's coming out of the top of the battery, this baby blue one, will connect with the black one that's down in there once you're ready for the vehicle to run. This one that it's attached to now is attached to the charger. So when I disengaged this little guy, actually I tried to hit the foot pedal and play with it. Of course it wouldn't run because I don't have the battery connected to the vehicle. The rest of these decals seem pretty straightforward. Like the odometers, obviously you're going to put these above where the steering wheel is. This one just so happens to be labeled in the correct spot. You know, a few of these other little light decals and stuff, you know, just check out the shapes. If the guide happens to be incorrect, that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Anyways, we got through the assembly. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope it was helpful doing a step-by-step. Like I said, I couldn't find one, so there you go. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.